Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Cressing Road, where the Saints' winning start to the season, I should say, in National League South has come to an end with a 1-0 defeat. And from where I was, Ian, I don't think we can have any complaints about the outcome.
No, I think for probably best part of the game we were second best. As I said on Saturday, we just really looked like we've just lost the way a little bit last couple of games, which is things we have to go and work on. But we didn't do the ugly side of the game today. We didn't defend properly, and we probably had too many players off their games today.
Our strength this season, despite up until today scoring 2 goals a game, I felt has been our defence. But in the first half, you felt Braintree were getting 1 or 2 chances more than the other sides have been getting of late. Yeah,
but I think it comes from all over the park, David. I think the front three have defended really well for us, and we didn't defend well from the front today. Too many times they walked through us, and were then at the midfield. Midfield, we didn't really get to grips with their runners and their shape, and as I say, and then it exposed the back four to some movement and some pace. So, you know, we managed to get that right at half time, and it was a shame because I felt second half we defended a hell of a lot better from all over the park, and unfortunately we got done from a set piece, which is the first time I think it's happened this year. A corner, free header, and the guy scored, and they didn't really open us that much in the second half, apart from when we were chasing the game in the last 20 minutes.
But sadly, also in the second half, when we did make a better fist of it, we didn't really look like scoring either.
No, we had, as I say, we had probably too many players off today. 4 or 5 of them really didn't reach the level that we've reached week in, week out so far. But sometimes we have to accept that. As I said before, we have to wipe ourselves down. We have to then readdress it and then go again on Thursday night for Gloucester on Saturday, which is going to be a tough game. They've won again today, which is 4 on the trot for them. So every game in this league, we know it's going to get a tough season. But you know, we have to accept some games. If we don't turn up, and that's really 4 or 5 didn't turn up today, then we're going to be second best in games like that today.
David Noble said he struggled with 2 games in 3 days. We didn't play him today, and it felt like we missed him really. Yeah,
we missed David's creativity, we missed his composure in there as well, and at times his experience, because he would have got people organised in there. But you know, credit to Braintree, as I said there. I felt their shape and their movement in the first half caused us a few problems. But for me, we just didn't work hard enough off the ball today, and we didn't move. When people got on the ball, there weren't enough movement to try and get the ball. We were very static in a lot of areas, and we gave them opportunities to close us down. And by the time we'd had 1 touch, we needed a second touch, and then a third touch, and then it was too late. So we have to, as I say, we have to wipe ourselves down. You know, we're never going to go the whole season and not lose a game. Full credit to Braintree. You know, they've pressed us all over the park, and they've taken their chance when it's come. It's a shame it's from a set piece, because I don't like conceding from set pieces. And in general, in the open play, as I say, in the second half, I felt we looked quite comfortable, apart from when we had to chase it in the last 15-20 minutes. But we never really opened them up. I think Sam Merson had 1 half chance, and we created a couple of corners, but even then the quality on the ball in the box wasn't good enough.
Both sides had appeals for penalties where players went down in the box. On the small screen, I thought the referee got every single one of them right. How did you see them?
I didn't think there were penalties at the end of the day. I think the fella's definitely gone down too easy, and I think Rhys Morel-Williams went down too easy. So I haven't got a qualm with that at the end of the day. It's a referee's decision. I think he got them both spot on.
Overall, the referee, because the players did seem to be going down all over the park.
Well, you have to question some of the decisions. As I say, one of their lads flicked out late on it and kicked one of our players, but he said it was just a petulant kick. Well, petulant kicks are red cards in future, but I don't really want to talk about the referee at the end of the day, David. I don't think he's the one that's caused us to not turn up today, and you know, he's not the reason why we've had 4 or 5 really not really turned up on a hot summer's day. It was tough out there, and 2 games in 3 days in terms of the heat. A few of ours just didn't really turn up today, and that was a disappointing thing, and I think that's the reason why we haven't come away with at least a point. And at 0-0 after 60 minutes today, I felt we was going to get a point, even though I felt we were starting to grow into the game. But unfortunately, when they got the goal, they got everyone behind the ball, and they managed to see out the game better than what we did.
One new face in the side today, young Eshen on loan, I should say, from Queen's Park Rangers. He's 18, about that sort of age. You wouldn't like to run into him, the size of him.
No, he's a big boy, isn't he? He's a bit bigger than Junior Moraes, so they say he's very similar to him. So it was good. It was good for him to get on for sort of 20 minutes today, and he showed us some willingness in terms of his running. And 2 or 3 times he got on the ball, and he kept the ball for us, which is what we're looking to do. But we never got enough quality in the ball into the box, and you know, we've had three corners in the last 20 minutes, and 2 of them we've played them short. And then the quality on the pass after that, we've got players that haven't worked hard enough to get onside after we've taken a short corner, and it's just laziness today from 2 or 3 players, and it just wasn't enough. And in the end, we can't go into any sort of game with 2 or 3 players not reaching the height that they've got. We haven't got a big enough squad that if 2 or 3 players ain't quite right, we have to go with what we got, which is fine. There's not a problem with that. But I need every player to apply themselves to the same level, and we need 110% from them, game in, game out. And if we don't get that, we can carry 1 or 2, but you can't carry 3 or 4 like we've had to today.
As you say, Gloucester City down the park on Saturday, and they are very much in form, so we've got to bounce back in good form straight away. Yeah,
we've got to. As I said, that's things there. But it's good we've got sort of a little bit of break now, and then we'll train again Thursday evening, and then we'll get ourselves prepared for Saturday. So, listen, we never said any game in this league was going to be easy. I think the start we've had is surprised us all. Today was a bit like what I felt we'd be away from home. We'd huff and puff and not get something out some games, where before we've kept clean sheets. Where today, as I said, we've been undone for 1 set piece, but apart from that, another clean sheet would have been nice today. You don't lose games if you keep clean sheets, but we've got undone today on a set piece. But we've got to learn from it. As I say, we've got to wipe ourselves down, we've got to pick ourselves up, and we've got to go again, because it's just only a sprint at the moment, and it's a marathon this league. And with 35 more games to go, it's going to be a long, hard season. Once the weather changes and things get heavy, and we're going to pick some injuries and suspensions up, and we have to just wipe ourselves down and go again for next Saturday, which is going to be tough against Gloucester.
It could be said that pressure is off us now, because we're no longer at the top of the table. Chelmsford City have gone top, but I didn't feel there was any pressure, because people didn't expect us to be there, so we were just enjoying it.
No, I think you don't, but I think sometimes if you take the pressure off, then you take the ability to pressure teams off, and I don't think we did that today. Maybe we got a little bit too beat up in ourselves that we can just turn up into games and play football and win games, and sometimes you have to earn the right to win a game of football. I don't actually think we earned the right to win a game of football today, and I think that starts in the changing room. I think that starts with the attitude of what we need to do, and it's down to me, and it's down to Lee, and it's down to the coaching team to make sure every player realises how hard every game's going to be. And if you don't approach it, get every game difficult, you're going to get what's happened today, because for the first half we probably had 5 or 6 didn't turn up. Second half we had 2 or 3 didn't turn up. So that comes down to me as a manager, and obviously Lee from the coaching side of it, is that we have to get these players to apply themselves week in, week out, because if we don't, it will be tough. But there is no pressure on anybody here at the end of the day. We've said all along, if we improve on last season, that's a bonus. But we've had a great start. I'll pat everybody on the back. The players have been outstanding. As I've said, they've applied themselves week in, week out, week in, week out. But today I just felt we dropped our standards from where we was over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks.
Has it given you a bit more to think about some of the players, do you think?
I think it gives me a bit more option in terms of, it might enjoy 1 or 2 players sitting on the bench looking with me at the end of the day, because they've got to understand that their places aren't guaranteed. We've got a squad there, and as I said before, we've got a squad of 16, 17. And if people aren't performing, then we can move people around. I mean, Sean Lucian sat on the bench for the last 3 weeks because Reece had come in and done really well, and then Sean's come back in today, and Reece has taken a little bit of a rest. So it's options we've got there. As I say, we're not frightened of leaving anybody out at all. So if players aren't performing to the level that we require, then we'll have to just let them sit on the bench with us, and then we'll see it from that side of it. But that's 1 game in 7 we've not really turned up. I mean, Wildstone we defended for our lives, but it was a different situation there, and obviously Chelmsford was the same. But today, there just wasn't that real energy that we've shown in some of the games at Chelmsford, and in some of the home games we've had to go and chase a game on Saturday against Concord. We really didn't turn up until Concord got 1-0 up. So it's just something that might have just crept in, that we've got to get out very quickly and make people realise that we're not the finished article. We're not the best side in this league, and what we have to do is we have to work extremely hard to go and win games of football, and we didn't do that today.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. We'll try again on Saturday. Just a reminder then, Saints at home to Gloucester City on Saturday, National League South. Kick-off at Clarence Park is at 3 p.m.